Next step is to make the beetle end the game if your mouse bumps into it. So instead of using another touching block in the mouse's code, we're going to use sending a message. Scratch lets you send messages between sprites to trigger code blocks. The beetle will send a message to your mouse that will stop the code. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're on the beetle, and we are going to add code down to the bottom. We need another if-then block. So I will go to Control and find my if-then block. This if-then block is going all the way at the bottom. Okay, so you want to make sure it's all the way down here. It is not part of if touching the maze. It's its own block. So we have if-then. So what we're going to say is if beetle, and we need to go to sensing. So it is going to be touching, and remember, white outline, it will go in. If the beetle is touching the mouse or whatever your character is that you are controlling with the arrow keys. So if the beetle is touching the mouse, we want to broadcast the message. The broadcast messages are found under events. So I will look for here's broadcast. Now we need to get the message created. So we're going to give the message a name. So we need to make a new message. So I'm clicking on the arrow next to where it says message 1, and I'm clicking new message. My new message name is going to be game over. And then I click OK. So now we need to add some blocks so your mouse will receive the message, because you can broadcast the message to, in some case, but you have to have the message being received. So I need to make sure I'm on my mouse or whatever my main character is. And I'm going to make a new algorithm just for this. So under my events, I'm going to find when I receive. That is receiving the message. And it says game over. Oops, I forgot the R. That's fine. What we want to happen is to stop all the other scripts. So what's going to happen? We'll go to Control. We want what? Stop. And what do we want? We want to stop all the other scripts in the sprite, which basically means everything for Mimi will stop working. So let's take a shot and see if this works. So here I am, and I'm going to purposely move. So hopefully I can get, see, look. Notice when it's tapped by the beetle, Mimi can no longer move. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a message to show the game over sign as well. But right now, if you notice, when the beetle touched my mouse, everything stopped for the beetle. Now we need to add more beetles to make it more challenging of a game. So if I click on the beetle sprite, and then I right click, I get the sub menu where I can get the choice of duplicating. So I'm going to duplicate, and then I'm going to duplicate again. So now I've created 3 beetles, and if you notice, if I click on them, the code is the same. It copies the code as well as the image. So if I click the green arrow, my beetles all start moving. So now I have 3 beetles. So the one thing you might want to change is the go-to, because this is where they start. The go-to -30x Positive 60y are the coordinates where your beetle starts. So you can click another place and decide. Maybe you want your beetle to start over in this corner. So that's 189 by 1. So I can change my coordinates. So I'm going to do minus 185x minus 135y. So my beetle, that next beetle, they will not all start in the same spot. Because if you notice when they start in the same spot, it just looks like there's one beetle. One beetle, and then finally, eventually, it will flip and split into two. So my recommendation is going to each one of the beetles and changing the spot where you want to start. What you can do is you can move a beetle to a location and see the coordinates and look here, here's where the coordinates are, and change those coordinates into the go-to X and Y. So now when I start it, all my beetles start in different directions.